Hey, T-Babies! Happy Sunday! So it's Sunday afternoon. I'm about to start cooking dinner. Guess what we're having today? From the looks of it, looks like we're going to have some fried fish, some okra, tomatoes, and corn. And I'm contemplating on whether to make some coleslaw or just do the fish and we do sandwiches with the okra and maybe some fries. We're going to get into it. I got everything. Today I'm using whiting. Got a family size pack from Kroger. Ingredients for my fish, eggs, mustard, hot sauce. That's my okra, corn, tomatoes, onions, garlic is back there, some bacon. Got all my seasonings. Old Bay, onion powder, garlic powder, seasonal, lemon pepper, and I use a little bit of Tony Chachere's to give it a little kick. Let me close it up because I don't want it just sitting open. I got my yellow cornmeal and my flour, and I have a couple lemons for garnish and for my sauce, or my base. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting prepped and getting this on the way. Folks is hungry. Gotta eat. Alright, so I've got most of my items prepped. I've cleaned and cut my okra. All of the veggies are going with the okra. I have tomatoes, onion, a little garlic, bacon, and I also add like a pat of butter just for flavor. That's all. And so I've got my fish cleaned and drying. I'm going to go through and cut it up into smaller pieces. I don't want those big long pieces because that's not going to fit on a sandwich that I have no kind of bread in my house that's going to fit there. So I'm going to cut those into smaller pieces that will fit more on the bread. And I also want to make sure that I get these as dry as possible so that when they will coat with the egg and mustard. And unfortunately, I've had to go the route of using frozen okra today. They did not have any fresh at the store. So my cooking preparation is going to be a little bit different with frozen than with fresh. Because this is frozen, when I actually go to fry it, I'm going to fry all of those other ingredients first and get those cooked down and before I put in this okra, because it's going to cook pretty quickly and it'll get slimy pretty quickly if I don't have all of those other things done. So that's going to be the preparation for that. So let me go ahead and get this fish cut, and I'm also going to get my egg batter and my cornmeal and flour dredged together as well, along with my seasonings. Actually, I'm going to season this fish because I do like to season my fish. Let's see if I could do this with one hand. You guys know my Holy Trinity. Sorry about this shaky wobbly camera. Onion powder, garlic powder, and a seasoning salt of your choice. So I'm going to start with the onion powder, and I'm going to do this light. I'm not going to do it really heavy because I'm also going to season the dredge, the flour dredge, the cornmeal dredge. So you don't want it too just too much. You want to taste fish, but you want it seasoned. So this is the garlic powder. I cannot stand unflavored food. Do not bring me anything that's not been seasoned, at least with salt. And I love seasonal, McCormick seasonal. Some people like Lowry's. Lowry's is a little too salty for me. McCormick's is a whole lot better in my opinion, as far as just the mildness of it. Okay, so that's enough for that. All of the other seasonings I'm going to add to the dredge because I still have the Tony Chachere's and the Old Bay, along with some of the ones I just used on the fish. That's going to go in the dredge. Oh, and lemon pepper. I'm not going to sprinkle the lemon pepper on the fish because I learned the hard way. I seasoned the fish a while ago and put lemon pepper all on it and walked away from it for about 5 minutes, and it cooked the fish, which I didn't know. That was my first time learning that lemon or acidity in general would cook fish. So let me go ahead and get this cut, get my dredge together. All right. So we got the fish cut. I have my dry dredge. I have my wet. I'm going to whisk both of these up, and then we're going to start getting them in there. In the meantime, I'm going to fill this up with oil and get that heating up. And I'm going to try and move some of this stuff out the way. I have a very small kitchen, y'all. That's why you really don't see much of my counter space when I'm working, because it's just small. Okay, and the other side is the sink, and I have mostly appliances over there. So I'm going to try and organize this in a way where I can actually have like an assembly line and start getting that into the grease, and then I will start working on the okra, because I want it to get done around the same time as the fish, or a little bit after, because the fish is going to have to sit and cool a little bit anyway. So yeah, here we go. Oh, sorry, I didn't go over my ingredients. So I have cornmeal. I have a cup and a half of cornmeal, a cup and a half of flour. I have onion powder, garlic powder, seasonal, lemon pepper, a little bit of Old Bay, and Tony Chachere's, and I'm going to whisk that up. And in this bowl I have 3 eggs, about a tablespoon of mustard, and about a tablespoon of hot sauce. So yeah, those are my ingredients. Let's get to it. Okay, so while I'm waiting for that heat to get up to temp, I went ahead and threw together a little coleslaw. So I have the slaw mix. Yes, I'm being lazy. About a half a cup of mayonnaise, because I didn't use a whole, I used just a little bit. I have some garlic. I put some pickled ginger in it. I like the little bit of sweetness it adds to it, and it gives it a little bite. Also added some sugar, a little soy sauce, and apple cider vinegar. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a mix and get it put up in the fridge and get cold and set and be ready for dinner. I think I need to add pepper. Pepper, that's what I'm missing. Be right back. All right, y'all hear that? It's popping. Oh, hold on. Let me go turn off the TV. Good gravy. All right, so we got the grease popping. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding in some pieces. Get these coated really good. And I really hate this frozen fish. I really would have preferred to get fresh, but yeah, not this weekend. Pull these over into the dry dredge. I'm gonna get them coated really good before I get them in that grease, but I want to get, that should be enough for that pan, right? Maybe one more. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get these coated really good. I think one of my first fails with fish was failing to make sure that my fish was coated sufficiently. I've learned in several years since that, I mean, some people double dredge it. I mean, you don't really have to if you give it a couple seconds once you initially, because you'll see that first time you flip it, that some of the moisture has started to reappear, and all you have to do is just keep flipping until you get it to where you need to. All right, I think this is pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and get some of them crevices. Get this in the oil. I'm fitting it in here. All right. I don't suggest you overcrowd like I just did, but because I just want to go ahead and get that in there. So I'm going to go ahead, because this really won't take too long to cook. I'm going to get the second batch in the egg wash just to get it started soaking. Ooh, it smells good. Smells like fish, y'all. How's y'all Sunday going? My Sunday was great. So far, at least. We're going to see how this food come out. Got up. Didn't go to church physically, but I did log on. I'm an e-church member at TD Jakes Potter's House. It's a great message. And watched a little preseason football. If you guys know me, I love football. Love it, love it, love it. And so, sat and watched a little preseason football. It's not even about, for me, it's just the sounds. I love hearing the sounds of football, and even though it's a preseason game, just knowing that it's on. All right, so let me get my hands cleaned off and get these, get some of this moved out of the way so I can start on the okra once this is done. Be right back. All right, these are floaty. I've already flipped them about twice, and it's been a couple minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and pull these out and get the second batch going. Yeah, looks like it's about that time. I want a little bit more color on them, but I don't want to do too much. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull them out. They've been in there for at least 7 minutes, so I don't want to do too much. Let's get them out. Okay, so I pulled off my first batch. And another very important note: when you're cooking fish or fries or anything like that, once you pull out that first batch, give the oil a minute to heat back up, just a little bit, not too long, before you put in your second batch. And because I found that it's usually not as hot if you put it in directly one behind the other. And also, I taste tested it, guys. It's perfect. It's crunchy. I don't know if you can. It's crunchy. It's perfectly seasoned. Not as much of a kick as I wanted, but it's really good. Flaky. I love fish, y'all. I should have fried some fish along with this. Shrimp along with this. Ooh, hot. All right, let's get the next batch in. Okay, so while the second batch is going, I'm going to go ahead and start cooking up my okra and tomatoes. I'm going to get these bacon and onion in here first, and probably some of the garlic and the butter. And I just sliced up the garlic. I didn't want a whole bunch of minced garlic. Just some of the flavor. So I only use like 2 cloves sliced. 2 small cloves actually. So I'm going to wait on the tomatoes because they break down so quick. I'm going to add them in right before I add the okra. And again, that okra, because it's frozen, it shouldn't take too long to go ahead and get going. Flip my fish. Just ×2. Alright. And this is where multitasking can go wrong, y'all. Because I can get pretty involved with one thing and forget about something else. Yeah, my brain. Go ahead and break up these onions. And I left them kind of large. My mother always made fried okra with big chunks of onions and tomatoes, and that's just the way I like it. I like the bigger chunks. So I'm going to cook this down, but not all the way. I don't want them entirely withered. So before I do anything else, let me add some seasoning. I'm going to add some onion powder, garlic powder, season all, in a little bit of Tony Saturates. Oh, and I almost forgot my corn. I'm going to add some corn to this one, so let me add that now because I have to get in there and get warmed up. Okay. Let it cook down. Okra, tomatoes, corn, onions, bacon. Southern style cookie, hun. Southern style. These little smaller pieces I'm going to pull out. I don't want them to burn. I'll move these a little bit more to center. And these are puffing up because the back skin is on. And I didn't feel like taking no time to remove it. It actually works with it. Get this seems about right. I would like to cook, I should have cooked the bacon first, just thinking about it, but as long as it's cooked, is the part, that part right there. As long as it's cooked. And I'm showing you the fish, and I'm supposed to be showing you the okra. The okras. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and add these tomatoes. Get them going as well. Should have chopped that up a little bit better. Now, once your seasonings are in, if it's not salty enough, you can just add what I normally do is I'll just add salt from here on out. I won't add any more Tony Saturates or seasonal because that flavor is in there. If I wanted a little bit more salty, I'll just add a little table salt. These are about done. Come on. I'm trying to flip you, trying to pull you out. Alright. So now while these are stewing a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and get this last batch of fish in. Hopefully last. Let's see if I can get it all in here. And then we will be done with the fish. And I didn't wait like I said I should, but oh well. See, that's just how quickly my mind is gone. That's just how quickly my mind is gone. Now, back in the day when I was coming up, oh, can't even see, not enough grease in there, I think. Oh, I have one extra piece. My mother would have had me reuse the flour dredge, like we would put it in a Ziploc bag and save it for the next time we cooked, which I don't do anymore, basically because I don't cook as often as, you know, she did when I was coming up. So I never do that. So I'm going to go ahead and put in this okra and kind of gently get this in here. And I'm probably going to need a wee bit more seasoning on this one. I'm trying not to break this up, but I'm doing a horrible job at it. So I'm going to stop for a second and let it cook. I just wanted to get the okra incorporated in there. Okay, let this cook down some more. And that's pretty much it for the okra. It's gonna cook. It's not gonna take much to get to where it needs to be. And again, you don't want to do too much flipping because that's when it starts to string up, and it's already getting a little stringy. So I'm going to leave it just like that, let it simmer. And of course I don't have my lid. Make sure all of that's down underneath. Gonna get some good heat to it. Alright. Well, that's it. So I'm gonna finish cooking up this fish. Let this okra simmer for a minute. And then it'll be done. I gotta find my lid. Well, there's a lid. Not the one for this, but that should work. And we'll get the fish done and we will plate up for dinner. Ooh wee! I put my foot up in this one, y'all. Stay tuned.